105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
It's 6:36. It's O'Connor and Company. Thanks for tuning in here. Busy Tuesday morning. Every day is busy, though, and that's why we need each other to get through the morning. We just got to get me through the morning, right? That's sort of the theme of our show, Julie. I feel like that's what everyone's saying when they tune in. It's like, all right, Larry and Julie, Larry and Patrice, Larry and Mercedes, just get me through the morning, and then I'll be fine the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's a good theme.
That's what we're here for. We are going to get you through this morning. And at 7:05, Gary Katz, former candidate for Loudoun County Board of Supervisors, talk about that sister city lie they've been telling you. 7:35, Alicia Andrews running for the Republican nomination in Virginia 10. And then at 8:05, Cully Stimson Heritage Foundation on the Hunter Biden trial. That's Julie Gunlock. I'm Larry O'Connor. And Julie, you, along with your fellow Virginians, are going to have a choice to make 1 week from today for your nominees for lots of different seats, including the opportunity to run against Tim Kaine for U.S. Senate. Eddie Garcia would love your vote, so he's here to ask for it. Eddie, thanks for joining us. Always good to talk to you, sir.
Larry, thanks for having me, guys.
Quickly, just a thumbnail, because, we've talked to you a few times now, but just a thumbnail of who you are, your Army record. Well, not the whole record. I don't want to get into all the details, but your service to this nation and why you're now advancing that idea of service to our country in hopes of running for Senate.
Well, Larry, I'm a son of a ranch hand who never made much money, but that's okay. I joined the military, the U.S. Army, when I was 17 years old. I became an officer after 10 years. I got 6 combat deployments, 3 to Iraq, 3 to Afghanistan, graduated Ranger School. I finished my career working with Congress, though, for the Army in uniform, working with the Senate and the House on federal policy for our veterans, our military, for national security. I got a master's in legislative affairs from George Washington University. I'm uniquely qualified for this position. Now I'm running because I'm tired of seeing Washington take away the power and the money and the control of average, everyday lives of ordinary Virginians, and it's time for change.
Yeah, we agree, certainly, and especially when it comes to that seat that Tim Kaine has occupied for so long. When you're out there spanning the Commonwealth, what are you hearing from voters? Are they sort of like, do they even have anything to say about Tim Kaine? Because he seems to be sort of a non-entity. I can't point to anything that Tim Kaine has done. Or are they more concerned about, listen, let's face it, Virginians have not voted for a Republican for Senate since George Allen, right? Are they questioning you and saying, listen, you Republicans, you haven't had your act together. Why are you different? What's the bigger question right now going into the primary?
Well, right now, primary voters want to know who can win, and I'm the one who can win. Right now, we have a crowded field. One of my opponents, Hung Cao, has got some legal troubles on his hands right now with FEC complaints of mail fraud and wire fraud and collusion with his super PAC called Unleash America. And since that's happened and people are getting noticed about it, a lot of people are jumping on the Garcia train. I'm not riddled with scandals. I'm talking about growing the population that we need, building coalitions that we need here in Virginia to win. I'm going to be real strong with the Valley and the Southwest because I spend time down there talking. I'm down in the Southwest right now, matter of fact. I'm going to be real strong with military veterans here in the Commonwealth. I'm going to be real strong with young people coming out of college who are tired of these generational politicians ruling over them for 30 years and such. I'm going to be real strong with new Americans, people who have come here the right way, who want to achieve the American dream. They want a party to go to. They're walking away from the Democrats, Larry, but they're not walking to Republicans. I'm pretty sure they're going to be Garcia Republicans by the end of this year.
Julie, before I hand it off to you, because again, we're not taking sides in any of this, but at the same time, we also want to make sure that our listeners are best informed about what's going on, and we're having all the candidates on to have their say. Literally any single person in this country can file an FEC complaint. That I don't know if that qualifies as legal troubles for Hung Cao. Eddie, I understand you're in a fevered fight for this nomination, but I just want to make sure that it's clearly stated. Anybody can file a FEC complaint about anyone in this country.
Yep, okay. Understood. That is just going on, and it's breaking news. Understood. I think that this late in the game, that people need to know what the baggage that each person is carrying, and to make sure that their vote is to the person that they think is best positioned to win. I believe I'm that best person.
Understood.
I'd like to talk to you a little bit also about national security. You were a legislative liaison and a security advisor up on Capitol Hill while you were serving.
Yes,
And I think that's so important. You know, two people are in custody because they tried to break into Quantico. And there have been other terrorist concerns, especially recently because of the mass migration that we've seen over our southern border. Tell me, how do you respond to voters when they talk about the concerns about the border? Because Biden claims to have solved it. It's not solved. It continues to be a major problem. Tell us how you talk to voters in Virginia about that issue.
Well, sure. Absolutely. I spent 5 years working with Capitol Hill on behalf of our national security, and the border is a national security concern. People are rightfully concerned about it. We've had multiple breach attempts on military installations, and the one you referenced from these immigrants from Jordan that have come across the southern border. I say we need to do a few things. Well, first things first, we need to build a 1,300-mile wall that President Trump asked for 7 years ago. A Republican Senate wouldn't give it to him because they said it was too much money. This is a common theme. When the Americans want something, Congress can never find enough money. But when the international community wants something, there's always enough money. And so we need to fund that wall. We need to increase funding to DHS and Homeland Security, Border and Customs, Border Patrol and Customs, to make sure they have the men, the weapon, the protection that they need to keep our country safe. But we also need to legislate some fixes. We need to legislate remain in Mexico, remain in Canada. We can't have people claiming asylum falsely and just hanging around this country unvetted. I've been clear about that day one. We also need to temporarily, with the new president, President Trump, we need to temporarily increase strong asylum judges, confirmed by a Republican-backed Senate, me included, to reduce the number of these asylum claims that are false, so that we can bring these people back to where they came from if they don't qualify for asylum. But we have a 5 or 6 year backlog right now, and Congress is not doing anything about that. We have to get rid of that.
We're speaking of Eddie Garcia, who's running for the Republican nomination in Virginia to run against Tim Kaine. President Trump has also said that should he win, he really wants to mobilize a sort of top-to-bottom revision of the Justice Department as well as the Pentagon. You've sort of touched on those agencies that Mr. Trump is concerned about, that many of us believe has been working in cahoots with elected officials to sort of punish people who don't equate to the mainstream Democrat political ideals that they're trying to, basically they're weaponizing the Justice Department against Republicans and against Trump supporters. What's your position on that after seeing these convictions of Donald Trump and the ongoing attempts to sort of criminalize being a Republican?
Well, one of my themes on the campaign trail is that if we don't have a government that comes from us, we end up having a government that comes at us. And right now we got a government that comes at us. It's coming at us in the DOJ and the FBI. It comes at us on all the agencies, though, Larry. I mean, just look at the responses when Silicon Valley has a banking crisis and East Palestine has a crisis that they had no control over. There's billions of dollars that get sent to San Francisco overnight, and the Republicans, 74% of the Donald Trump voters in East Palestine, Ohio, can't get help for an accident they had nothing to do with. So this is commonplace. It's happened here in Virginia. It happened down here in Abingdon when we had a factory that was supposed to open up, but all of a sudden the Biden administration comes in and they recognize this is a red area, and all of a sudden the jobs go away, the project stops, and the money stops. This is part and parcel to Washington, D.C. politics. It's something that I'm running against. I'm not a D.C. lawyer or lobbyist or consultant. I'm coming from outside this system to work on behalf of working people. They're tired of the same old same, these generational politicians, out-of-touch elitists, at least all the people that I talk to, and they're hungry for change. Change is in the air in 2024, and I'm going to be that change agent in Virginia.
Well said, sir. I've said it before. You are an incredibly impressive young man, and I'm looking forward to your participation in American politics, regardless of what happens next Tuesday. Good luck to you. Go knock on more doors. I know you've been all over the Commonwealth of Virginia. This is the home stretch, Eddie Garcia. Good luck.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Julie. God bless you.
EddieGarciaVA.com. EddieGarciaVA.com. 645 WMAL traffic and weather every